All right, so we know Giannis has been rumored to get traded and moved for quite some time now, but is the time actually now? There's a bunch of proposed trades out there. We even have Shams reporting that, him and his agent and others involved are discussing the potential future of Giannis, blah, blah, blah. We even saw last night, like I said, Shams saying, hey, this is the future. They're discussing it, right? Then right later on in the game, Bucks say Giannis has left with a right strain in his calf, and here was the play. This is comical because, and we'll get into like the trade rumors and whatnot, but it is funny to see, okay, we're discussing the future. He might be traded, and then early in the game, 3 minutes into the game, check Giannis out right here. Running, goes down. Can we look at that again? Ooh, he got hammered. I mean, unless he just tore his, Achilles or his calf. That is a I'm about to get traded injury if I have ever seen one. He doesn't even look like he's in like a crazy amount of pain. If this was an Achilles or something like that, I'm sure he'd be a little bit, more hurt. And check him out walking, right? Gingerly, but like, is it bad? Probably not. So we can watch it here. Ready? Safe to assume Giannis just goes down. And I say safe to assume, maybe I shouldn't say that, but in the NBA, would it be shocking if there is a move on the near horizon and Giannis is obviously part of it and he doesn't want to get injured and throw a wrench into, the mix here? Now, we have a few trade proposals coming by way of, ESPN here that I kind of want to get into and break down. So let's do just that. But guys, by the way, thank you for tuning in to the second channel here, More Guy Boston Sports. If you're enjoying this video or if at any point you do enjoy it, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below, and comment what you think is going to happen and the best sort of trade if one were to occur. What team should get Giannis? What should they give up? All that jazz. I want to hear all the rumors and speculation down in the comments. So here's the first one. Again, this is via ESPN, and they are given 5 trades that would shake up the title race. Potentially, right? Like the first one is Hawks and Bucks. Can we be honest with ourselves? Is this shaking up the title race? The Hawks and the Bucks included? I don't think so. But blockbuster moves. Hawks would get Giannis and Cole Anthony. And on the other side of things, Bucks get Trae Young, Zachary Richichet, and 4 first-round picks. Top 4 protected for these last 3 here. This would be interesting. This couldn't be completed for the next couple weeks here. You could see that. I don't know if I agree with the Bucks side of this deal unless Giannis is like, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it makes sense that they get back Trae Young and a young star in Richichet, but Giannis is better than both these guys combined, and the top 4 protected, that's a little worrisome, the top end there. But ultimately, I don't know if I take this if I'm the Bucks. Unless, of course, like I said, Giannis is like, I'm out of here, dude. You better get something. But let's see if there's some better options out there. Now, here's one that I may be able to get behind. You got the Antetokounmpo brothers, right, heading to Houston. And check it out. The Bucks get Alpi Sengun and a first-round pick. You want to throw in Fred VanVleet? Sure. I think people forget how good he actually is. Now, I'm not saying great or anything like that, but this is still a very viable veteran guard in this league. If I'm the Bucks and Giannis wants out, I'm probably doing this yesterday. Alpi Sengun is one of the better young players in the entire league, right? And it's not like the Rockets get much better with Giannis than what they're giving up here, but I do think, Durant and Giannis, that might shake up a title race. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big Sengun guy, but Giannis is still Giannis. I get both sides of this, but more so the Bucks side. Like, I think the Bucks ultimately win this one, but the Rockets do get kind of catapulted into a potential championship situation because, let's be real, they're already kind of in a potential championship situation right now. They have an awesome team, bunch of young guys, but also with some veterans there. You have, again, Durant and Giannis on the same squad. I don't care what anyone says. We know that Durant can be a number 2 to anybody and go out there and win a championship. So I sign off on this one. I think that the Rockets would do it because of the near-term championship. And I think the Bucks look at this and say, veteran guard, great. We get a guy that is still super, super young. Like, Sengun is very young. He's 23, doesn't turn 24 till July. This is clearly a spot in which the Bucks get, again, veteran and a young stud in this league. And how about that? An unprotected first-round pick via the Suns. Do the Suns look all that great right now? No. So I think that this one could get done on both sides. Makes sense to me. I'd probably rather be the Bucks there, maybe just because I am valuing Sengun so highly. And I know I've said Sengun, Şengün, Alpi, Alperen. I say his name all different ways. Doesn't change the fact that I love the dude. Pause. All right, here's an interesting one because the first round picks and pick swaps kind of shake things up a little bit. This is essentially, Giannis and Cat for one another and a couple, ancillary players and then 4 picks, 3 of them being swaps. I don't think that this makes the Bucks much better. I think that you kind of get put right into the same situation. You have a very high paid older player, not exactly someone that, can do what Giannis does. Does it make sense for the Knicks? Hell yeah. You put Giannis in MSG, that sounds awesome. And does it make them a championship contender? I would also say hell yeah. You have a very amazing defensive team now, because let's not forget how good Giannis is defensively with OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, even Mikal Bridges. Like, this team would be pretty damn good if Giannis were to be transplanted, boop, right onto them. The Bucks, though, again, very similar to kind of the Hawks, but not for the same reasons. I don't see why they're sitting there being like, give me Karl-Anthony Towns, give me Kolek, give me Diate. Like, that doesn't make too much sense to me. Sure, if you want to look at this, not too bad. I mean, you could see this, like the Knicks get, in terms of, the Bucks get worse of the Bucks or Trailblazers. Like, yeah, the Trailblazers, they probably won't be too good in the next couple of years. Actually, this is 2030, so the Trailblazers are that young team, who knows what that's going to be, but where are the Bucks, Karl-Anthony Towns by 2030, how viable is he? So I get where they're coming from in terms of the future, but still, if we scroll up here, this is still ranked number 1 in terms of what I would want. And I honestly may even look at, if I'm the Bucks, right, I may actually look at that Hawks one even more, because at least you're getting a bunch of picks and Richiche, who is still a very, very young former number 1 pick. Here's one in which you just lose me, right? I mean, you do get 3 first-rounders in this one. You get a bunch of, I guess a couple young guys and 2 veterans, but this is just not sexy whatsoever. I think the Bucks getting Stephon Castle, like, I know he's good, and I know he's honestly very good, but where does he fit into this Bucks team in terms of taking them to the next level, right? Now, the Spurs, can you imagine the Spurs with Giannis and Wemby? Like, that would be absolutely crazy. But the Bucks side makes almost 0 sense to me, right? Harrison Barnes, okay, maybe has some trade value. But Kelly Olynyk, I don't think so. Jordan McLaughlin, maybe you're looking for something in the future. These 3 first-round picks, 27, 29, 32, they're almost too spaced out to make any sort of immediate difference in my dumb brain. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Spurs getting Giannis, that sounds crazy with Wemby, but this trade has close to 0 viability in my brain, which, knowing that it has close to 0 viability, it's probably the one that gets done. Now, before we get to the last trade scenario proposed here, guys, again, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Comment down below now that you've seen these trades, which one you like the most. Are you in agreement with me that that Rockets one probably makes sense for both sides to some degree? But yeah, let me know down in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's check out this last one here, because this last one doesn't make too much sense to me. And I feel like we've seen Giannis in those photoshopped Warriors jerseys for years. Maybe that's the biggest thing that makes sense. And, yeah, his brother Thanasis is going to be going with him. But Draymond Green, no value to team in a trade right now. Kuminga, sure. Buddy Hield, sure. The 4 first-rounders, I get it. But again, every 2 years here, and this is if 1 through 20, I don't mind that. I just don't think that this is almost, and actually the first line here, this would be a Hail Mary for both teams. This is just a shake-up type trade, right? Like Giannis, with all these guys gone from the Warriors, essentially, it's like Giannis, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry. That's a decent enough big 3, but it's an old big 3, right? Kuminga's one of the younger, talented guys on that team. He gets shipped to the Bucks. The Bucks do get Draymond and Buddy, who are veterans. Kuminga, who's a youngish guy. But do they get much better? Like, I don't think either team gets all that much better here. The Warriors probably do win the trade, right? Because they're not giving up Jimmy. They're not giving up Steph. But in terms of these, like, when's Jimmy going to be gone? You know what I mean? Look at these trades. Like, you're clearly setting up for the future here. It's almost like this is what you're getting for Giannis, because I don't think I put too much stock into Draymond. Buddy Hield's going to be a shooter forever, but just a shooter. And Jonathan Kuminga has his ups and downs. Nobody is valuable as that Antetokounmpo name up there. You know what I mean? So, again, let's look at these really, really quickly, because they're all in an order here. I would say if we were to grade this one A through F for both sides, right? I think that this is a B minus to a B. This one seems like it could be a B plus to an A minus. And again, we're weighing both sides here. How much does the trade make sense? Not like, oh, the Rockets getting Giannis is an A plus. No, it's an overall trade. The Knicks, this one's like a C+ for me. Like, again, I mean, maybe I'm undervaluing Towns. I know how good he is, but I think the Knicks getting Giannis, that probably boosts them up big time. But the Bucks, I don't even see why you do that. So that on the tail end kind of pulls that grade down. This Spurs one would be awesome to see Wemby and Giannis play together, but it's probably right around a C. Maybe a C+. I would say C, because I was going to say C- to a C+. What's right in between? And I C, right? And then Golden State, I think this is like a D+ grade. The only thing this accomplishes is we finally get to see Giannis in a Warriors jersey, in which we've seen plenty of those Photoshops over the years. Again, guys, let me know which one you think actually makes the most sense. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.